Okay, so there's this concept of muses, and it's in three parts. Part one, on some page around 100, is about Stephen Pressfield, right? That's our author. That's our guy. And he has this personal journey, and it's part one of the muse journey. And he's like all isolated in writing and deep in his resistance. And then part two is all about Zeus and his 9 sisters. And these women are occupied with inspiring artists and getting the universe the higher powers that are involved in our personal genius or soul animating spirit. So, this is where I come in with part 3, page 116 of Invoking the Muses. And it calls upon saying a little prayer. What's that I hear?
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup.
Okay, but we're not talking about Burt Bacharach. We're talking about Homer. Not from The Simpsons. This is the legendary ancient Greek author who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. And he starts out this chapter with the start of the Odyssey. And then he breaks down this paragraph. And the important things he points out are divine poesy. Which is, and also he's like, okay, so it's really fucking wise to do, we're okay with fuck. Great. Okay, he's like, it's really smart and wise to say a prayer. Like, I'm gonna do this art thing and I'm gonna be a genius now, so I might as well make it sacred. Okay, so then going back to the Odyssey, his first like little quote is divine poesy. And this is calling upon a source from a holier plane. Mwah, mwah. His next pointed out quote is goddess, daughter of Zeus. And this is like, oh, highest, cream of the crop, power. Invoke me, embody me. I'm calling on you, sis. The third quote is sustain for me. So this is the idea that I'm not asking for brilliance. I'm not asking for success. I just want to keep going here. Bring that power unto me. But why keep going, you may ask? Because we are all on our hero's journey here. Home. Quote, ejected from our homebound complacency and propelled to wander, seeking redemption. Redemption song, Sorla ever asked. Redemption saving Bob Marley, cool. The untiring campaign to get home, meaning back to God's grace, back to yourself. That's what Pressfield is talking about. That's why you keep going. And oh my God, when I read this, and that's what it's all about, and it's this notion of home and the self, and they're kind of intertwined. I've been reading this author for years. He's incredible. His name is Leo Buscaglia, and I had just sent my friend this, oh, it's so good, this quote from his book, and I'm going to read it to you guys now because it's all about you, the self. Oh, get ready. But one of the most difficult things you are going to have to do, it should be the simplest, is to be you. To find out who you are and what you have to share. And then dedicate yourself to the process of developing it so that you can give it away to everybody else. Because that's the only reason in the world for having anything. The wonderful thing about the self is that it isn't anything concrete. The thing that you'll leave behind isn't something that's it is something that's not tangible. That's what's so wonderful. It's a great spiritual something. That's what you are. And if you develop that, you'll leave that to everyone you touch. And they'll become more. that it's going to be a battle. And it goes on, but like, wow. Anyways, we've gotten through part 3, the Muse now. Okay, we've just talked about home, right? Now we're on page 118. How long is this? 5 minutes? Okay, that's a good time. Let's see. Okay, and this chapter is titled The Magic of Making a Start. So, an important part is, do you say Goethe, Goth? I probably should have looked up the pronunciation before I started this. Of course, he's a legendary author, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. The quote, that's the thing that really matters. It's this couplet that Pressfield's like, this really stays with me, like, I have deep respect for this. Whatever you can do, or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, magic, and power in it. Begin it now. End quote. That's W.H. Murray from the Scottish Himalayan Expedition. Okay, and then the next thing that jumped out at me in this chapter, Pressfield's referencing the Kabbalah, which is, and when I saw that I was like, because it's this set of like mystical Jewish teachings, writings that Jewish mysticists follow, and it's, I saw it and it's great, and it describes angels as bundles of light, meaning intelligence, consciousness, right? Because we had this whole idea of like the angels and the muses and like, what are they? So Kabbalists believe, get this is such a good image, that above every blade of grass, an angel is crying, grow, grow. That's what, and then Pressfield's all, I'm going to take this a step further, and I think that above every entire human race is a super angel crying, evolve, evolve, and I love that, but the thing is, oh my god, I hate you, I hate me, because we're too distracted by our own nonsense, and that's so true, but when we begin, when we start, we conceive an entire enterprise and commit to face our fears, and something wonderful happens. A crack appears in the membrane. Like the first craze when a chick pokes at the shell, and it's like, there's these angels around us and we're fucking in labor, and there are midwives and they're assisting us as we give birth to ourselves, because that's the person we were born to be and whose destiny wasn't coded in our soul. That little fucking baby is my genius right there. And when we make a beginning, we get out of our own way. Let me say that again. We get out of our own way. We allow the angels to come in and do their job. They can speak to us now, and it makes them happy. It makes God happy. Let's just stop and think, because when we start, we make God happy. Think about how fucking fulfilling that thought is. Just by starting, you're calling upon eternity to come in, and just by doing that, you are enough. So, now we're on page 20. Let me check my time. This is a long video. Sorry, friends. I watched all of your videos and I was like, how are they talking for 7 minutes? She's going on 9. Here we are. You probably won't watch this, but that's okay. Great. I'll make it fast because I go till 4. So I have 4 more pages. So, now I'm stressed. Now I'm really in labor. What? Okay, so, Pressfield's like I sit down and I work consistently because, like, I've made resistance my bitch, and, like, so afterwards, like, I'll just go on all these walks, and then, like, my brain will talk to me and tell me very specific things, like, on page 342, you wrote this word and it should be this word, and he named specifics, and, like, that's super impressive that his brain is so photographic. Some people's are, and he claims that everybody's brain is like that, and it's just the shit that comes up every day, every minute, and for each of us. And if you're cognizant to it, that shit's magic. And it's a process of self-revision and self-correction. And it's common, but we don't even take notice of it. And that's sad, because Pressfield claims that that power is a miracle. And you're like, oh shit, well, where is this coming from? Are these the angels, the muses, the unconscious, the self? And he says, whatever it is, it's smart as shit. And I believe that. I believe it so much. This is crazy, you guys. Oh my god. So did you hear what I just said about the magic of keeping going, which is page 120 chapter, and it's like, oh, like our unconscious is consciously talking to us, and like it's so smart and it's a higher power. I'm gonna read you guys a journal entry on this exact topic that I wrote before I read this chapter, and it's just so meant to be. Okay. There are people and they're not social distancing and they're outside my window and they're making noise. Anyways, cold coffee. Wanting to take pictures of all of the beautiful trivialities my eyes catch. See. Writing this on the toilet because the thoughts had to be jotted down just as badly as I had to poop from the coffee. Okay, they're really loud. Anyways. Feeling grounded like my cold coffee grounds, watching stories of my Jewish people and feeling the bonds that make us unique, and one with our Chinese storytellers. I had watched The Farewell. And the brave Black Americans, the poor whites of Honey Boy, and Faulkner's As I Lay Dying have it hard, but woven into their brutal narratives are fascinating philosophical debates that I hope to fully engage in someday. As for now, I feel blessed and grateful and have to wipe my bum. Aaron. Okay, so that shit, and I was like, the thoughts are coming to me so fast, and like, that's exactly what Pressfield is talking about. So it's just important to note that we're really intelligent if we listen to ourselves. Great. Final 2 pages. Largo. Let's go. We're at 12 minutes. Oh, this is a long one. I'm sorry, guys. So he has this dream, Pressfield. He's like in a horrible part of his life where he's a truck driver and he's estranged from his family, and he hates his life. And he dreams that he's on this ship and like things are going wrong, and there's this really amazing guy named Largo. These people are gonna get coronavirus. Anyways, he idolizes this Largo guy and he thinks that's the coolest name, and this Largo's on the ship with him, and the captain comes out and he's talking to him. And the last part of his dream, the captain turns to him casually and says, "What the hell are we gonna do, Largo?" Pressfield says, I quote, "I woke up electrified. I was Largo. I was the salty old gunny. The power to take charge was in my hands. All I had to do was believe it." Woo! That's fire, you guys. You're supposed to learn that the things you think are nothing, as weightless as air, are actually powerful, substantial forces, as real and as solid as earth. I understood. So he's talking about, like, he has dreams, he has thoughts in passing. They may feel trivial, but they're powerful and they're messages for us, and we could take advantage of them, and they're just as solid as anything in our real life, in this walking life. Those are my chapters. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry this was 14 minutes, but I'm not sorry.